big caveat to this matchup right here is that they said Marina Rodriguez, who we're not worried about her. If the winner of this fight gets to fight Carla Esparza for the championship. So for Joanna Jędrzejczyk, bro, she's licking her chops saying, all I have to do is beat Zhang Weili, and then I already beat up Carla Esparza to take her title all those years ago. Oh, I'll just do it again, right? And then you got Weili, who at this point, I think is in the midst of an evolution as a fighter, AJ. She's at fight ready. She's learning from Triple C, Henry Cejudo. She's trying to come back from her, skid that she's been on, brother. Honestly, if you look at the last two fights, they've both been against Rose Namajunas. She got knocked out in one, lost a split decision in the other. And then Joanna Jędrzejczyk, man, she lost the split decision to Weili in the last one. So this is all a big circle of fate right here. But at the end of the day, who has more to lose? AJ, Zhang Weili risking going on a 3-fight losing skid, or Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who, when's the last time you see her on a 2-fight losing skid, man? You don't even see that. So who has more to lose here?
I think it has to be Joanna Warrior, man, just because of the hype, man. She's such a media presence. She's the face. She's has the tenacity, she has all the charisma and everything. She's getting all the media, so there's all this stuff on her that if she loses this fight, it's one of those ones where it's like, is she still the real deal? She used to be the scariest, she used to be the boogie woman. She used to be everyone that was scared of her, and now not necessarily. Now she's kind of like the one. She's she's that old school bully who once he gets beat up one time, now he's just part of the crew and just kind of kicking it. Like, nobody's really scared of him anymore. He got handled a couple times. You know what I'm talking about. It's a classic archetype, and I feel like that's how Joanna, if she loses this one, that's the idea that's going to kind of get represented into her. You know what I'm saying? She used to be the big power girl. She used to hit you hard, hit you fast. Everyone was scared of her. Now Weili's kind of going into that thing, man. How do you feel about it?
Well, I think that definitely Joanna has a lot at stake here, but I think Zhang Weili actually has more to lose, if that makes sense. And hear me out. This is my thought process on the situation, and this is why this is kind of lending to who I'm picking. So Zhang Weili, man, you lose to Rose Namajunas, and I've never seen a bigger switch, a bigger style change up than I have since her losing that first fight to Rose, right? You get knocked out, flash TKO'd with the head kick, dropped. You came all this way, you lost your belt, you're devastated. You come back in the fight, and we saw a different Zhang Weili. We didn't see the same fighter, right? And this is kind of why she lost the fight, in my opinion. If she would have been that aggressive fighter who fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I think she could have won the fight. But we didn't see that fighter. Now she talks in the pre-fight meetings, cuts the hair, regrows it, has a whole persona shift and all that. It's trying to be, more uplifted, happy and all that. Now she's saying, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to mix in some wrestling. Henry Cejudo has taught me so much. If I don't use this, it's going to go to a waste. So all this is telling me, AJ, is something that you've said recently. We've talked about other fighters, where when you have coaches who are trying to change your fighter instead of really honing down on what got them here in the first place. Being that multi-level, mix in the wrestling, mix in all of the different fundamentals, and be this kind of basic fighter, if that makes sense, right? Well-rounded at everything versus honing on your strength in Weili. That's not what won her the championship, bro. So if you turn into that fighter now, who's to say you're going to have that success? Joanna Jędrzejczyk, bro, you know that she thought that she won the fight against Weili. You can argue that she won the fight. At the end of the day, we'll give it to Weili, man. That hematoma definitely played a huge factor in terms of the visuals of the fight. But either way, it was a great fight. So you have basically a Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who both of these fighters are suffering from the Rose Namajunas, losses. But aside from that, they're basically beating everybody else, man. The only other loss Joanna had recently was to Valentina Shevchenko, so that's fair. We'll leave that for what it's worth. Does Zhang Weili win this fight if she doesn't fight this fight the same way she fought the first fight? And I know that was a mouthful right there, but if you notice the reckless abandon she had in the first fight, if she doesn't come out with that, can she win this fight?
I don't think so, man. And I saw the same thing where she was talking about her going to wrestling, and if she doesn't use it, it's all for a waste. I hate that. It's as a coach who has, athletes that I coach myself, man, anytime they say, oh, I'm switching it up, I'm like, why? Why? You're good at this. Why are you doing that? Like, what's the point? Why are you going to do just to do it? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, just win the fight. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So I hope she comes out there with that, tenacity, with that forward front, because in that first fight, I thought she won. It was a very close fight against JJ, excuse me. But I mean, with the power that she has, with the style that she is, she's always on that front foot. She's a powerful girl in Weili Zhang, man. So hopefully it doesn't switch it up too much. I mean, and I say this all under the pretext that if she does switch it up, it doesn't work. If she does switch it up and the wrestling does work, she gets JJ to the ground and pound victory round one. I mean, how shocked how shocked would all of us be if that was the case? Weili Zhang walks in, hits an incredible blast double, and that's the last we know of JJ. Joanna Warrior out there. We'd be shocked. I'd be mind blown if that was the case. I just don't think, as progressed as you are as a fighter in your career at this point that Weili Zhang is, you can't just switch it up. Go to something else, go to a new style. Want to be Triple C, as cool as that would be, and that'd be nice if we could just change our body and anatomy and like have physiology and how our body works and what's easiest and best for us. That'd be cool. But I just, man, it worries me a little bit. It does worry me a little bit. But I think once the hands start flying, JJ's back in the ring, they're facing each other. I think Weili Zhang's going to think about that first fight and kind of go back to her ways. Hopefully, that might. I'm hoping so. Anyway.
Well, even if we're looking at it from the opposite perspective, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she said, "I know why I lost the first fight, and the reason why is because she went in and she went to war with Weili, and she didn't need to do that. You don't need to step in the pocket and be there all day long. She's most effective when she's out at range, hitting Weili with shots where she can't get hit back. She's the bigger, longer fighter, honestly, right? So I think that." The real question here is that if Weili can effectively use that wrestling, let's take a look at some stats real fast, brother. If Weili can effectively use her wrestling, the last people to really be successful after notching a takedown against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, honestly, Valentina Shevchenko with 5, right? She just kind of ragdolled her in that fight, if you remember that one. Rose Namajunas, she got the sneaky takedown at the end to kind of solidify the win against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Jessica Andrade lost the fight even though she had 2 takedowns. Claudia Gadelha lost the fight even though she had 4 takedowns. Valerie, she had 1 takedown, ended up losing the fight. Like all of these fighters, Claudia Gadelha again, 7 takedowns, lost the fight. So one thing that has been notable about Joanna Jędrzejczyk kind of throughout her career is that her takedown defense has been really good. She always finds a way to get back up to her feet. Even against Weili. Weili tried to shoot a couple takedowns in the first fight. And Joanna, what does she do? Every time she'll take the takedown, get back onto her feet, look at Weili, smile, laugh at her, be like, oh yeah, you thought. All right, let's get back to it. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest strengths of a Joanna Jędrzejczyk. But listen, man, we could talk about this all day long. I just think that if Weili doesn't come out with the same tenacity that she did in the first fight, the same aggressiveness, the same reckless abandon to sit in the pocket, trade, and not scramble out or go try to shoot for the takedown, if she doesn't do that, Joanna might have a field day here. But it could be another close fight. Who's to say? The biggest X factor is Joanna hasn't performed in 2 years, man. She says she's been training, but we never know. Ring rust, I mean, it is real. Dominic Cruz doesn't think so, but ring rust is definitely real. At the end of the day, man, the winner of this fight, if Joanna does win, this does set up a rubber match, man. This does set up a third fight potentially down the road. So it's not like the trilogy may be over or this series may be over. But let's talk props here. So for Zhang Weili, man, a TKO prop plus 400, a decision prop, plus 140. All right, so those are fair odds. For Joanna, plus 700 for the TKO, plus 175 for the decision. They're both comparable odds between the fighters. However, Zhang Weili has the better prop in terms of getting the KO. But when we're talking decisions here, what do you like better? Do you like Weili at minus 180 just to take it, cut and dry, whatever, or do you take the plus 140 decision prop? This is a 3-round fight after all.
Yeah, it's a 3-round fight. That's, man, I think it has to be decision just because of that 3-round shortness. I don't think either of the girls can get each other out that fast, but I think the grit and tenacity of both fighters is going to make it very, very challenging. So I like that plus money on that decision.
Okay, and the over and under here is 2.5 rounds, so we'll rock with the over for you on the prop for decision for Weili, and I actually like the decision the other way. I think Joanna gets the decision on this one, man. I think that the one difference that people are missing in this matchup is that Joanna Jędrzejczyk is not just some fighter who had a break and is coming back. She was literally the boogie woman. Stylistically, yeah, you ran into a bad matchup with Rose Namajunas. You got ragdoll when you try to go up a weight class against Shevchenko. That's fine, but in the weight class, man, if you look at Joanna Jędrzejczyk in her weight class, and you look at her losses, it's literally 2 losses to Rose, 1 to Shevchenko. There's no other losses. Nobody else has beaten her. So she still is the boogie woman of the 115-pound division. I just think that if she fights a little more tactically, doesn't sit in the pocket and get beat up, you're going to have a bet. If you don't get a huge hematoma, you might just win the fight. I'll just say that, man. So decision for Joanna for me, decision for Weili for AJ, man. And this is honestly, is this the people's main event?
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised this is at least third on the bout because it's going to be one of those, was Brian Ortega, where it basically took the whole steam out of the room and there's no excitement for the next fight forward. I think this one could be it.
Something like that, man. So we'll move on to the next one.